Good afternoon, finance class. We're going to jump into the next unit on employment. It talks about salary and how much you get paid weekly and all that fun stuff. So here we go. So a couple things I wanted to go over. I want to make sure you know, moving on in this section is one, how many weeks are in a year? So there are 52 weeks in a year. Another thing this section covers is the symbol for thousand. You've probably seen it before, but the symbol is K. For example, if 3,000 would be listed as 3K. So you would say the first number 3 and then the K stands for 1,000. Another example, so let's say I had 66,000, then that would be 66K. If I had something that wasn't perfect, like 5,400, that would be 5.4K. Okay, so you're going to see this symbol in this section and it's going to ask us to use it. So let's jump right in, doing some examples like those in your homework. So number one, it says Mitchell found a job listed in the classified ad that pays a yearly salary of $57.3 thousand. What is the weekly salary? So remember, 57.3K is 57,300. Weekly, there are 52 weeks in a year, so you would simply divide. And then using my calculator, I got 1,101.92. So if your homework asks you to round to the nearest cent, it's so that when you say it, it looks like an actual amount you could actually get, okay? Don't put 3 numbers here. We never get 3 things of cents. It should be 92 cents. You should be able to say it, and it actually makes sense. Number 2, this is very similar to a problem on homework. Clarissa is considering 2 different job offers. One has an annual salary of 61.K. The other has an annual salary of 63.4K. What is the difference in weekly pay rounded to the nearest dollar? Now, this doesn't say cents, so we're going to round to the nearest dollar, so you shouldn't have anything after the decimal. So let's start. 61.1 would be 61,100. And we're going to divide that by 52 weeks. And then 63.4K would be 63,400 divided by 52. So you would calculate both using your calculator. For the first, I got $1,175. And for the next one, I got $1,219 and $23. Now, because it said to round to the nearest dollar, I'm going to round that this does not round it up. So to find the difference, you take the larger that should be a 2. Take the larger amount, so $1,219 minus the $1,175, and the difference is $44 a week. Remember, this is the weekly difference. That isn't the yearly difference. That's $44 less per week. Okay. Number 3, Mr. Leonard took a job through an employment agency. So there's a bunch I've seen commercials for, but employment agencies, you can go and search for jobs. The job pays $88K per year. He must pay a fee to the employment agency. The fee is 22% of his first 4 weeks' pay. How much money must Mr. Leonard pay to the agency? Well, first of all, I have to figure out what he gets paid per week. So he gets paid $88,000. There are 52 weeks. So if you divide that, I got $1,692 and $31 per week. Now, he has to pay that for the first 4 weeks. So what I did, you can do it a couple ways. I did 1,692.31 times the 22%. That's the 22% times 4 weeks. So if you enter all 1,692.31 times 0.22 times 4 weeks, he's going to have to pay the agency $14.89. And it says nearest cent, so I should have cents here. So 23, notice the 23 The 2 next to the 3 is less than 5, so it doesn't round it up. Okay, I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to move on to number 5. So this is a piecewise function. We did cover this in a prior section. I think it was Unit 2. So Ariel wants to place a 7-line classified add. So x equals 7. Now it gives us these two formulas. Notice this, it says when x is less than or equal to 4. Well, 7 is not less than or equal to. 7 is greater. So I'm going to use this formula here, right? Because 7, this is greater than 4. So I'm going to plug it into this function. I'm going to plug the 7 where the x is, and then I'm going to simplify. So this is 33 plus 5. We start with parentheses first, right? 7 take away 4 is 3. So this is 33 plus 15, which gives us $48. Okay, so that would be the cost of a 7-line add. I'm kind of skipping around. So number 7. Oh, maybe I should have done. I don't think your homework asks us to do one of these, but I do believe your test will. So a Carpenter's Chronicle charges, so they want us to set up a piecewise function using c of x. So use this squiggly line. It says $12 for the first 3 lines. So $12 when x is less than or equal to 3. Okay, so that is for this part here. Then it says $7.25 for each additional line. So you still have to pay the $12, but you have to plus the additional fee for the value of x that's greater than 3. So x minus 3, and this is for when x is greater than 3. So that's how you'll set all of them up. It's in the book, but in case it asks you for a question like that. Number 7 is not in your homework. Number 8. So this is stating, it wants us to set it up as a piecewise function, but this is, again, not in your homework. So I'm going to do the ones that are. So number 9 says Yoko needs 300 sets of copies of her resume. Dakota Printing charges $19.50 for the first 200 copies and $9 for every additional 100 copies. So how much will 300 copies cost? So I'm going to do part A here. So it says it charges $19.50, right, for the first 200 copies, plus $9 for every additional 100. So this is for the extra 100 copies. And so I'm simply going to add those together because she only did 300. So for the first 200, it's this price. For the second 100, it's this price. And so that gives me a total of, I have 19.5 plus 9, $28.50. Now, she has to pay sales tax of 4.5%. So 4.5%, I'm going to multiply this cost by 0.045, right? Because 4.5 is 4.5%. So to make it a decimal would be here. So I am going to take that. So I have $28.50 times, and I have to add that to the original cost. So this is to calculate sales tax. And then I will add that to the total. So you multiply this in your calculator, plus this, I got a total of $29.78. Part B asks us to do a piecewise function. So it says C of R equals, we do a squiggly. It was $19.50 when, now we're going to do 100 equals 1 set. So when x is less than or equal to 2 sets, because 2 sets would be 200. And then you're going to add $9, right, per each set that's greater than 2 when x is greater than 2. And that is how the book set it up if it's in by 100. So like 200 would equal 2 sets. And that's why I didn't put hundreds right there. They wanted us to use larger amounts. All right, so moving on. And number 10, again, that's not in your homework. So number 11, Rudy's job pays $15.50 per week. Express his annual salary using the K. I don't know why I left so much room here. So $15.50 is per week. So this would be times 52 times, and then we'll do the K last. So $15.50 times 52, I got 80,600. So as this would be 80.6K would be our answer, because this would be 80,600. Okay? Or you could write that as 8.06. But anyways. All right, number 12. And I don't think we need to, yeah. So in part A, if W represents the number of weeks, express this as a piecewise function. So C of W equals, it is $19 when, for the first 4 weeks, so when X is less than or equal to 4, it's always less than or equal to. And then it's $19 plus an additional 7 for any value that is greater than 4. So it would be how many are greater than 4. So this would say when X is greater than 4. Find the list of a resume for 8 weeks. So if X equals 8, then we are using this bottom equation because 8 is greater than 4. So 19 plus 7 times 8 minus 4. That'd be 19 plus 7 times 4, which would equal 19 plus 28, which equals $47. All right, next, not in your homework. So number 14. So here's a piecewise function that says $31 when X is less than or equal to 5 lines. And you get a discount, so only $20 plus an additional 6 for any lines greater than 5. So what is the cost for the first 5 lines? It is $31. What is the cost if he purchases more than 5 lines? It is $20. Oh. I'm going to skip to see how much is a 6-line ad compared to a 5-line ad. So 6, when X equals 6, it'd be 20 plus 6 times 6 minus 5. So 20 plus 6 times 1 would equal $26. A 5-line ad would be this right here. When X equals 5, it's $31. So how much less? 31 minus 26 is $5 less. So that is the final answer. What is the cost of the first 5 lines if Marty purchases more than 5 lines? It'd be the first part of that equation right there, $20. So look how much cheaper it is if you like order in bulk or get more than one. We only have a couple more. So number 15. Kevin's looking for a job. One classified ad lists the job as $64,600. Another job has a weekly salary of $11.20. So what is the difference? So first, this is yearly. So I need to convert this to weekly. So I'm going to divide by 52. So 64,600 divided by 52. I get $12.42 and 31 cents. So notice that first job, even though it was listed annually, is getting paid much more than the $11.20. So what is the difference? It'd be $12.42 and 31 minus $11.20. And I got the difference per week is $122.31. For the next one, the job pays $49,400 per year. The agency is 35% of 1 month's pay. How much must Michelle pay? Now this says months. So 49,400 divided by 12, because there are 12 months in a year. So 49,400 divided by 12 gives me $4,116.67. And 35% would then be this times 0.35. So when I multiplied that out, I got $14.40 is how much she would pay this agency. And remember, near a cent, you should actually have cents. Last, Todd is looking for a job as a chemistry teacher. He plans to send resumes to 145 schools, but his local printer charges $34 per 100 copies and sells them in sets of 100. So how many copies must he purchase? Well, if he needs at least 145, he'd have to purchase 200. How much will the copies cost him? So it says 34 per 100. So 34 times 2, he would pay $68. And that completes that section.